Guys, I'm not gonna lie, I thought we were hoodwinked, bamboozled, led astray, run amok, and flat out deceived, but it seemed like the Boruto writers are actually coming through with their promises of giving us the content that was in the opening in an actual upcoming arc, which of course I am so excited about. The upcoming Urashiki arc that's been building so much hype around the Boruto anime. One of the things that we do love about the Boruto anime is the fact that the past two openings have been absolute fire, absolute flames, and we do love to see that at the beginning of every single video. But of course, one of the biggest criticisms was that we're probably never going to get to see this content in an actual arc. To be honest, everything that I started to see in the actual opening, I thought, hey, we're probably not going to get to see in the anime. Boruto uses Rasengan in the opening, I thought, hey, we're probably not going to get to see Boruto use a Rasengan in the next 30 episodes. Things like that were starting to creep into my mind, but it seems like we're finally getting a little bit of a shift in that dynamic. Now, a couple of disclaimers that I do want to talk about before I actually get into the actual videos. The fact that this is an actual theory, this isn't necessarily fact, this hasn't been confirmed. And also, a lot of you guys had the same exact theory as well. Some of you guys have been commenting in my comment section. Also, some of you guys have been hitting me up on Twitter, and you guys are basically saying the exact same thing. And I do absolutely love that we all have these same ideas, because usually when we all think the same thing, that's probably going to end up being the reality in the future. And of course, we'd all love to see the opening content in the upcoming arc, which would probably be the Urashiki arc. Now, of course, to get into the specifics and comparing the opening to the actual upcoming arc, I do have to get into some mild spoilers. So if you guys want to be completely spoiler free, this is probably not the video for you, but also I'm going to try to keep it as mild as possible. I'm not going to give you guys any extremely hardcore things that's probably going to spoil the whole arc for you guys. But into the actual details, one of the dead giveaways about how this opening can possibly be involved in the next arc is the fact that the next arc is going to be taking place in the Hidden Sand Village. And of course, the opening was also in the Hidden Sand Village. Now, I do want to say not the whole opening was in the Hidden Sand Village. It was in different settings and different times, but during the battle scene, it was in the Hidden Sand Village, and just that right there really got my hopes up. Now, I feel like I have to say this, but it's not confirmed that they're actually in the Hidden Sand Village, but there's a bunch of sand on the ground, there's a bunch of sand dunes and everything. I'm pretty sure this is the Hidden Sand Village. Now, another thing that correlates between the opening and also the next arc, one of the things that we did get in the spoilers is the fact that Boruto will also be with Shinki as well. So Shinki is also in the opening, and I feel like that's just a direct correlation between the last opening and this upcoming arc, which obviously is just a huge upside. A lot of people really do love Shinki, and we'd all love to see more Shinki content, and that's exactly what we're going to get. Now, of course, one of the things that I do want to point out is the fact that 2 openings ago we seen Shinki as well, and I do want to talk about that later on in the video, so I just wanted to point that out really quickly. Now, another thing that we do know from the spoilers that were released is the fact that there will also be Otsutsuki puppets in this upcoming arc. Now, in the opening, we seen puppet looking creatures. We seen these frames right here. Not only that, we seen a clash with Konohamaru and 3 other Otsutsuki looking puppets. Now, in my opinion, I feel like this is also possibly even another dead giveaway that this is probably going to be the actual upcoming arc. But one thing that I do want to point out is that in these spoilers, it didn't necessarily say that Konohamaru was going to actually be in the arc. But one big thing that I do want to point out is the fact that the spoilers only covered 4 episodes of content, and of course the arc is most likely going to be much longer than 4 episodes, so it is definitely possible for Konohamaru to also join them in the future. And the same thing goes for a lot of the other characters that are also in the opening as well. But I definitely won't be surprised if later on in the arc they are accompanied by the rest of the characters that are exactly in the opening. A couple of things that I do want to point out: Boruto being the leader of Team 7, Shinki being the leader of his team. They're probably going to get backed up by the rest of their teams if this mission does actually drag out, which I'm pretty sure it most likely will, mainly because we're dealing with a foe like Urashiki Otsutsuki. A couple of other things: Sasuke and Naruto were also on the battlefield in the opening, and also in the spoils they were implied to be in the upcoming arc as well. So that right there is also another correlation. Everything is just pointing to this opening actually being the upcoming arc of Boruto. Now, when I first heard this, I didn't necessarily think it was going to be true. As I said earlier in the video, I thought we were bamboozled, I thought we were led astray, I thought we were flat out deceived. I thought we were never going to get the opening content in the actual arc, but I actually went back and watched the opening. I'm pretty sure some of you guys do this as well. I always skip the openings during every single episode. I know some of you guys don't do that, but some of you guys are with me. I just don't watch it. I just watch it when it first comes out, and possibly even a second time when I do a review on it, but after that I never watched. But when I went back and watched it, I seen some things that coincided between the opening and also the arc, so I'm actually really hyped for that. Now, another point that I do want to bring up, and of course this is probably like a weaker theory of the two, but the first one definitely I think is definitely going to happen. I think that opening is definitely going to be in the upcoming arc. But also, the opening previous to the opening that I was talking about we seen some things that didn't necessarily transpire in the actual arc. If you guys don't remember, of course you guys have been seeing the frames in the background throughout the whole video, but it was this big tail beast looking figure. It was Shinki's team, it was Boruto's team, it was also Shikidai's team in that opening. A whole bunch of things that were happening, and of course that opening was absolutely amazing. That opening was pretty much amazing. We all loved it. That was the first time we really seen some animation like that in the opening, and of course that was something groundbreaking. Now of course there's a possibility that that opening could also possibly be in the upcoming arc. Of course, the regular things, Shinki is in the upcoming arc, and also Shinki is in that exact same opening as well. Now, of course, there's a whole bunch of things in that opening that is not in the actual arc. One of the biggest things is the tail beast looking figure, but of course, if we would put two and two together, we can possibly say that that tail beast looking figure might actually be a summoning jutsu from Urashiki Otsutsuki. Now, one of the biggest theories that we did have about that figure back when we first seen it was that, one, it was probably a tail beast from a different dimension, and two was that it was a synthetic tail beast that would probably be in the Mitsuki retrieval arc. Of course, it wasn't the synthetic tail beast from the Mitsuki retrieval arc, so this can actually possibly be a tailed beast from a different dimension. I'm pretty sure you guys know from Madara and from Obito as well, it's possible for people to enter a summoning contract with tailed beasts. Now, if Urashiki seems to be like he's in trouble, of course, if he's pretty much being overpowered by Boruto, Sasuke, Gaara, Naruto, of course, anybody, it's definitely possible for him to summon a tailed beast looking figure just like this. Now, of course, I do want to point out Naruto, Sasuke, anybody else wasn't necessarily in the opening. It was just Boruto, Shinki, and also their teams, also Shikidai's team as well. But of course, they're probably not going to give us all the information in the opening. And of course, another thing that I do want to point out, if this is actually the case, that will probably be the arc in like pre-production. They probably won't even know exactly what they're going to put into the arc if they supposedly did start making the arc from that exact time period. So of course, the opening wouldn't be as spot on as the previous opening that I did talk about and didn't make comparisons to the upcoming arc. Now, of course, I really hope that this opening right here is going to be in the upcoming arc. Not only the fact that Urashiki would probably be changing the whole landscape of the hidden sand village because it's all snow at that point, but also we'd probably be getting more information about other tailed beasts from different dimensions. Now, of course, one of the biggest things that we do want to know about the Otsutsuki clan is specifically what their lifestyle is like. Do they have a king? How much dimensions do they go to? How much planets do they go to? How much chakra do they really have? And not only that, those questions will also lead to other answers as well. For example, how much tailed beasts are there in all total? Of course, we know from our dimension, specifically in the Naruto verse, there's only 9 tailed beasts. There's also 10 if you count the 10 tails, and of course, for the filler fans out there, there's also 11 if you count the 0 tails, but also, and specifically in all the other dimensions, how much tailed beasts are there? And this right here could possibly open the door for questions such as that. And of course, I'm definitely very hyped about that. Now, before I end the video, one thing that I definitely do want to point out is the fact that in these two openings, if they do actually coincide with the upcoming arc, one thing that we have been noticing about these two openings is the fact that Boruto's dojutsu, or excuse me, Boruto's dojutsu, the Jogen, has been prominently featured in both of them, which would mean that Boruto is most likely going to be using his Jogen in the upcoming episodes. Now, Boruto just using his Jogen, to me, I don't necessarily think that's good enough. Some of you guys might love it, of course. It looks amazing, and also not only that, it possibly even boosts Boruto to different heights. But one thing that I really do miss from the Boruto anime is telling us what exactly Boruto's eye does. In the first arc of Boruto, the Sumune arc, of course, some of you guys' favorite character, but in that arc, we actually got to see chakra points. We actually got to see time-space ninjutsu from Boruto, a whole bunch of things from the Jogen that we didn't necessarily get to see from that first arc. And to me, it's insane to say, but that was 100 episodes ago. In 100 episodes, we've gotten no new information about Boruto's Jogen. So one big thing that I do wish for in the upcoming arc is that we actually do get some concrete information about Boruto's Jogen for once. Not only that, possibly Boruto getting used to his Jogen for the first time. One of the things that we do know that's anime only that they can possibly jump into and dive more deep into that we'd all like is the Jogen. In the manga, Boruto's Jogen is pretty much non-existent. The only time that we did see it was in the first chapter, and to be honest, in the first chapter, it was a Byakugan. So the anime pretty much has free reign to develop his Jogan and basically give us all the content that we need. And I really just wish that they do give us and Boruto what we deserve. But let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section below. Do you guys think that the opening is actually going to be in the upcoming arc? And also, do you guys feel compelled by the correlations between the arc and the actual openings? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. But it's been your boy Baara B, and we out.
Check my clock, I can't stop. Fuck around, make my 40 pop. No popcorn, I pop pistols. Reaming my body, clothing no issue. Bitch, you look sick, you need a tissue. You drop a body, I just might bless you. I'm metrosexual, no high cholesterol. Where's Jenny Craig? Bitch, just get sexual.